How do you feel about the black community receiving reparations?
I'm against that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why so?
Well, first of all, what is the black community?
What do you mean by that?
You owe me 40 acres and a mule anyway. For real. I wasn't asked to come here. You know what I'm saying? From a bad action, you're gonna get a bad reaction. You know? You make a dollar bill, and it's only paper. That's all it is paper. You know what I'm saying? And then you make us fight and kill one another over paper. That's how I feel about it. And that's how I'm always gonna feel about it, man.
When I was out there on the streets of Philly, it was do or die. But God is good all the time. I'm here for a reason. My name used to be Tech. I'm Mr. Gas now. That stands for Gutta and Saved.
Considered the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ-like. They envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like check conditions of how I'm living. I preach Christ. We ain't fake delivering. Listen. Candy man, soon as they. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
Charlie Kirk is one of the many reasons why I do not rock with the conservatives. The conservatives is very good at gaslighting and manipulating and redirecting, much like the Republicans and the liberals and the Democrats do. But the thing is, Charlie Kirk and the conservatives and all those people over there, they act like they're giving you a bunch of information when all they're doing is tossing up a word salad in the form of questions to try to get you caught up in some stuff. Now, I recently came across a clip of videos of Charlie Kirk, being asked about reparations, and he said he don't agree with reparations. And I get why he agreed with it, because he's of his ancestors, and so I get it.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, look, I'm tired of these conservatives. Let me just say this. I am tired of these conservative Republicans playing in our face as if reparations isn't owed to black people. We're not asking for you to give us a handout. We are asking you to give us what's owed to us, Charlie. You see what I'm saying? Now, I understand you was asked the question and you answered it, but the way Charlie in these clips I'm about to play got to explain it, man, listen, I wish that was me, because I would have humbled him, and I'm about to humble him now with nothing but information that y'all can use and y'all can research yourself. Listen, Charlie Kirk and them conservatives, they play semantics with words all the time with ignorant black people, to try to prove why reparations shouldn't be paid to black people or why reparations isn't owed to black people. But I'm gonna humble Charlie Kirk real quick, and I'm gonna try to make this quick. Y'all, let's check out this first clip.
Hey, my name's Blair. Just got a question for you here. How do you feel about the black community receiving reparations?
I'm against that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why so?
Well, first of all, what is the black community? So, for example, do you mean like recent immigrants from Haiti or Nigeria?
I do not. No.
Okay, for sure. So you're meaning like ancestral descendants of slaves.
Correct.
That can be proven with documentation.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So
now, Charlie, you know what the black community you're talking about. You know what the black community we're talking about. We're talking about foundational black people of the freedmen. You know that. Who was sold and brought here in this transit slave trade. You know who we talking about. The black people who built America. The great America you love. See, here's the thing, Charlie. You try to throw Haitians, Jamaicans, and all those people in the Caribbeans you try to throw them in here, those who migrated over here, as a way of deflecting. It's a deflection, from answering the question. Although those other groups were slaves here in America, they were also paid. All of them. They was paid. They may not have been paid what they was worth, but they was paid nonetheless. And also, let's add this in there. They came to America willingly. Unlike us foundational black people, unlike my ancestors, they was brought here. They were sold into slavery. let's not, and let's time in on, let me talk about the transatlantic slave trade real quick. Y'all sold black people into slavery, all those European nations, for over 336 years, and scattered these people abroad. Now, I know some of y'all gonna come on and say, well, black people sold their own people. No. See, in Africa, slavery was a form of trade and barter. Those people worked. Doctors was called slaves. Lawyers was called slaves because there was no true term for employer and employee. So there is no documented history showing how America treated slaves and those African treated slaves. Yes, the Moors traded slaves early, and I think they said it was like over 7 years, and then they stopped. And then your people started, invading those villages and going there with y'all diseases and y'all guns and stealing these people, taking them up to Europe and trading these people abroad. That's the difference. For 360 years, black people had no choice in that matter.
To be consistent, do you believe that other groups that have been mistreated in America should also receive reparations?
What are those other groups?
Well, they're not necessarily by America, but let's just take one. Jewish Americans, right? Okay. They almost got eliminated in the Holocaust. Should they receive reparations?
Jewish Americans was mistreated by the Nazis in Germany, right? And America do pay the Jewish people and have paid Jewish Americans reparations. In fact, I'm not even gonna go way back in history. Let's talk recent history. Recently, earlier this year, 2024, New York City Governor Kathy, I know I'm gonna hack up her last name, Hochul, whoever her last name is. She's the governor of New York, announced, Holocaust Claims Processing Office secured over $183 million for victims and beneficiaries of the Holocaust. In other words, New York City just paid, the descendants of the Holocaust, over $183 million. That goes to the children and the grandchildren, because I think we probably on the second or the third generation outside of the Holocaust. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. Yeah. In addition to that, Germany in 2023 said they're going to continue to pay them $1.4 billion up until 2027 until they renegotiate. Charlie, you claim to have all this information. You claim to be wise. You know that, Charlie, but carry on.
I did not own slaves, and you were not a slave.
Correct.
Right, so we are individuals, and therefore we cannot be held accountable or should receive something from something that didn't happen to us or something we did not do. That is a basic law of justice, that I can't be held accountable for something that somebody looked like me did, and you should not benefit from something that somebody you were related to. Now, you'll probably say systemic racism and how that passed down to generations. Happy to address that. The problem with reparations, though, is basically what you're saying is, I'm going to take money from Charlie Kirk for something he didn't do and give it to a group of something, to somebody of something they also didn't do. For what reason? How is that just?
Man, I can't stand with this dude, man. Now, that was a word salad right there. He's playing semantics like crazy. You gotta learn how to read through these people. This is what they good at doing. English is their native language. They learn all these words and play semantics in the form of questions. Black people are owed 40 acres and a mule. Legally. It is owed to us. When was we ever paid for our 40 acres and a mule, Charlie? Correct. Never. So that means the debt of 40 acres and a mule is still owed to black people, Charlie, right? So if America can find money to pay the Jewish people over there, the descendants of Jewish people, how come they can't find money to pay us? If America can find money to fund all these other nations and other people's wars, billions and billions and billions of dollars, how come they can't find money to pay what's rightfully owed to us? You see what I'm saying? Man, listen, we ain't trying to hear none of that, Charlie. Look, the gig is up. America need to pay up. America need to pay what's rightfully owed to black people. See, people like you, Kirk, is going to try to twist and do all this other stuff that like y'all usually do. You know, like the debt is not owed to black people. You know, you want to make it like we're asking for reparations as if we want a handout. No, we telling America to pay your debt, to pay what's rightfully owed to us legally. But carry on once again.
Even if there is some truth to that, which I wouldn't even be willing to grant very much, because Black America was doing incredibly well before.
Yeah, you're right. The Black community started doing well. We did. But every time we start doing well, Charlie, guess what happens? Your people find a way, find a reason to come invade our communities, right? Come in our communities, set our communities on fire, you know, unalive the men and do some strange things to the women. That's what your community have a history of doing. Y'all have a history of burning down our communities every time we get to thriving. And every time we try to bounce back, which a lot of communities did bounce back, y'all do the same thing over again. Y'all come and burn them down again. You know, and every time we try to start over and over and over again, y'all do the same thing over and over again until we just end up giving up or we ran out of resources to continue to build. That was y'all goal. That was y'all goal all this time. You know what? We're gonna continue to burn it down. They ain't gonna have no money after a while or they ain't gonna have no resources after a while to rebuild, and they're gonna come falling at our feet to serve us. That's what your people did, Charlie. Let's not forget Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. The Greenwood District, also known as Black Wall Street. Huh? Talk to me, Charlie. Let's not forget Rosewood, Florida, 1923, Charlie. You want me to keep going? Need I say more or should I just stop? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Let's not forget Chicago, 1919, which y'all did up there in Chicago. Let's not forget East St. Louis, you know, what y'all did over there in 1917. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget Durham, North Carolina, 1910, what y'all did over there to the Black communities over there. Let's not forget. Oh, are you so easily forgotten, Charlie? Let's not forget Kansas City in 1917, what y'all did over there. Let's not forget Philadelphia. Let's not forget Oakland. Let's not forget LA. Let's not forget all the rest. Where y'all went in those communities, your people went in those communities and burnt down those communities over false accusations when those Black communities was thriving without y'all. And y'all was too lazy to get up off y'all butts to do some work, so y'all had to go burn down those Black communities so that those Black people could come back and fall at your feet for work in some form of saving. Because y'all want to be saw as saviors. Y'all don't want Black people to thrive. Y'all want to be the saviors of Black people. That's why y'all always want Black people to fall at your feet, and that's why y'all don't want Black people to grow economically. All those Black communities that y'all burned down was thriving. And they was burnt down because of y'all white rage. Yeah. And y'all white hate for Black people, which none of those communities was ever able to rebuild or reconstruct. And you want to know why? Because not only did your people burn down those communities, Charlie, they took their resources. They took the money out of their bank accounts. They burned down their banks, took their gold, took their money, took everything. And like we just saw right there what they did with ain't y'all paying the Jews, Germany and America paying Jews back for what was stolen from them during the Holocaust? And you sitting up here saying that Black people aren't owed reparations, not only in the forms of 40 acres and a mule, but also what y'all have stole from us. What y'all have stole from those Black communities that was thriving because they was growing economically. Charlie, y'all don't want to talk to foundational black people. That's why y'all get them ignorant black people up there that can't really answer questions. But I can answer, and it's many of us like them. And that's the reason why I believe Trump is trying to dismantle the education board, because as black people are coming to know our true history and not get it from y'all. We coming to the knowledge, y'all. We ain't letting y'all teach us no more.
He's out of line, but he's right.
See, listen here, black folk. We got to start taking control of our own narrative now. We got to start taking control of these conversations, because at the end of the day, this is our history. It's their history too, nonetheless, because they played a part, a evil, demonic part. But nonetheless, it's their history too. But we have to take charge of this, and that's why, I'm always preaching that black people should understand history. History is important. These people are the sons of the devil. I'm telling you. And that's why I believe this when the scripture says, John chapter 8, verse 44, you are of your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in truth, because there is no truth in him. When he tells a lie, he speaks from his own nature, because he is a liar and the father of lies. And that's exactly how I see Charlie Kirk and a lot of those conservatives. They are the sons of the father of lies, the devil. They don't stand in truth. They don't want people to grow. They play semantics and they play with these words as if they want black people to grow, but they are the very one that's holding black people back. They don't want us to know truth, so they got to control the narrative of our truth. You see what I'm saying? They try to say, it was the black fathers. It was the black fathers. No, you want to know why the black fathers wasn't there? It's because y'all put the drugs and the guns in the black community, and those black fathers who didn't already have nothing did whatever they could to start making money. Y'all made them rich. All on black people. Y'all made them rich. Watch this. And y'all built the jails to put them in. Y'all played the game, because y'all are of your father the devil. Before that, black families was thriving. Black families and black fathers was always there until y'all start putting the drugs, the guns in these impoverished neighborhoods amongst people who didn't have nothing, because y'all didn't even want to hire them at McDonald's. Y'all didn't want to give them jobs. And the black communities that branched off and was thriving, y'all went in those communities and burnt those communities down, stealing their money and their resources, leaving them with nothing so that they can come back and fall at your feet. That's what your ancestors did. The ancestors did, Charlie. And you want to play semantics and you want to play around like you don't know this. Listen, I know I'm sounding pretty passionate right now, which I am. And listen, I know a lot of my white friends is going to hear this. I have a lot of white friends, by the way, which I love. But here's the thing. I'm not going to let none of my white friends or any white person try to teach me about my history that we know to be true. I'm not going to allow white people, even if you're my friend, to try to gaslight me as if we are the crazy ones. And that's why I always say, man, even when white people call themselves allies, they feel like they have to be at the top. They have to be at the top of leadership in our community so they can still control the narrative. That's why I always say black people will never have allies. Because even when they call themselves allies, they never want to sit down and listen. They always want to find themselves at the top. You see what I'm saying? 40 acres and a mule is old to us at the end of the day. Your people benefited from free labor, was passed down generational wealth to generational wealth to generational wealth. You know what I mean? And y'all was able to, become homeowners. Y'all was able to have all this land where when you sold it, you came into wealth. Y'all stole the land that we had. Y'all burned down those houses, those black communities, and stole the land and try to resell it back to them. That's what I'm saying. These people are disingenuous when it comes to breaking down our history. And yes, and I'm gonna end with this. Yes, the Irish, the Russians, and all these other people were slaves when they came here to America. But the difference between them being enslaved and being mistreated and all that stuff, they was paid. They was recompensed. You see what I'm saying? The Irish, the Italians, and all those people, they were paid. Yes, they was mistreated nonetheless. Nobody's going to, not You know, I'm not going to say they weren't mistreated, but what I'm going to say is, you know, they was paid for their labor. You see what I'm saying? And also, they came here willingly. They wasn't sold to America. These people migrated here. There's a difference. They came here for a better life, thinking that they was escaping something from their country, and came here and got mistreated the same way. They was fleeing, you know, whatever they was fleeing from in their country, only to come here and get mistreated. You see what I'm saying? The difference between them and black people, we were sold to America as property. Now America owe us. And out of them owing us, it was something that they promised black people that's in legislation, which is the policy of the 40 acres and a mule, Charlie. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, I expect Charlie and people like him to say that black people isn't owed reparations. I expect them to get to say the stuff they say mainly because they of their ancestors. Their ancestors' DNA is running, you know, through their veins. They of their ancestors. You know, they are of the devil. They are a lineage of evil at the end of the day. You know, and that's all I can say, because why wouldn't you want people who's owed something to be paid for something that they was owed hundreds, well, not even 100, well, maybe around 100 or so years ago? Y'all promised us this in recompense of all the evil that your people did to my people. And now you saying it's not owed? It was never given to us. It's in your law. And you talk about you a law-abiding citizen, America law this and America law that. Well, in America policy, 40 acres and a mule is owed to black people, man. And that's all I got for y'all. I thank y'all for rocking out with me. It's your boy, St. Reese. This is the Gutta And Saved podcast, man. Do something for the podcast today. Make sure you go to our merch store, gasmerch.com. It's going to be pinned down in the description area like usual, man. Y'all can, you know, get any hoodie in our, or sweatshirt in our collection and get a t-shirt for free. You can't be free, man. You cannot be free. I thank y'all for rocking out with me. And until next time, I'll see y'all on the flip, God willing. Peace.
When I was out there on the streets of Philly, it was do or die. But God is good all the time. I'm here for a reason. My name used to be Tech. I'm Mr. Gas now. That stands for Gutta And Saved.
Considered the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ like they envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like check conditions of how I'm living. I preach Christ, we ain't fake delivering this. Candy man, soon as they. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
Okay, I'm reloaded.